Hello and welcome to Wise Well Women Week, Night 1. And I had to remind myself that it actually is nighttime, but the sun is still out. So grateful for that. And I don't know about you, but I took advantage of this sunshine, of this daylight, of this decent weather, especially in Chicago, because you never know what the weather's going to be like. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Cynthia and Jessica. Hey, y'all. I am so excited. Hi, Chantel, about Wise Well Women Week. I'm Queen, and I'm the content creator here at Wisdom for Well-Beings. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. Hi, Danny girl. And Wise Well Women is all about being a spot for grown women. And there's a difference between being an adult and being grown. Hi, Dorita. And this is a space for grown women to find wisdom for their well-being. Now, when I'm talking about wisdom, I'm talking about spirit-inspired clarity, sound judgment. We take that wisdom and then we're going to be applying it to the knowledge that we're receiving about wellness. And the women that come on here for these Wise Well Women lives are women like yourself. They've learned some stuff, okay? This is not just book knowledge. This is life lessons that they've learned. They're intertwining that with their expertise, and they are here to encourage us, to uplift us, and to help inform our wellness journeys too. Hi, dope therapist. So that's why we're here tonight. And I'm in Chicago, and I'm telling you, I know that as outside started to open up, some people were looking forward to going to restaurants and back to the gym and stuff like that. You know what I wanted to do? Be able to go on the lakefront and ride my bike, because it was shut down. Our mayor was not playing. So what city are you in, and is outside opened back up all the way? And what have you done that you couldn't even do last month? What have you been up to? Are you back at the gym? Are you doing the patio dining at the restaurants? What you been up to? While you're typing that in, let me tell you about the Wise Well woman that we have with us tonight. So glad to start it off with her. And again, thank you so much for being a part of tonight and being a part of this community. So tonight, as we think about applying wisdom to wellness, we have Cynthia Flowers. And Cynthia is an RN. She's out there on the front lines. But not only that, she also is helping those who are on the front lines. I'll tell you a little bit more about her in just a second. So Dorita is in Fayetteville. Oh my goodness, that's right. Arkansas never had shelter in place. So Dorita, you could have done anything you wanted. Were masks even required for where you all went? Thinking about going to a restaurant tonight? Okay. Jessica, are you going to be dining in or out? Because here in Chicago, you can go to restaurants now, but there's no dine-in experience. It's all patio, or you call in advance, or, you know, whatever you do. And then you have to like pick it up and then leave. But you can still be out amongst the people, but just outside and patio and all that. Rooftop is open too. So yeah, Cynthia, right? She is an RN. She's also out here, patio dining, Southern California. When I hear you say that, Southern California, Jessica, I think about it never rains in Southern California. What y'all know about that, okay? So they closed down the salons, but not required shelter in place. Hi, Angel. Angela, so happy for you to be here. Better fast, and thanks for being here. We're just talking about where we're at and what can we do now that we couldn't do before. And you know what? Cynthia, who's our guest tonight, she's the RN, as I said. She's on the front lines. She's also out here. I saw her, a post that she did. She was part of a peaceful protest. So she's just out here, right? But another thing is, she thinks ahead. I know Cynthia personally because a lot of times, well, actually I'm saying a lot, but it's really not a lot. There are a handful of times where I actually am in relationship with the Wise Well women that come on, and Cynthia is one of those people. Hey, Monique. And I remember back at the end of February, early on, I invited Cynthia. Cynthia, tell me if you remember this, put it in the comments. I invited her to a group workout. And she said, you know, I'm really trying to stay away from the gyms right now because I just really want to be mindful of coronavirus. And I was like, okay, because I had not yet realized how serious it was, y'all. But she, was on the pulse of those things, and she knew. She's been taking care of herself ever since then, as well as the people who are serving other people. She's also a mama in midlife. So, yes, I have some friends who are new moms or becoming new moms in their 40s and close to 50. So I know that's a whole different experience. And then we've got some moms who are in that age and they still got some little ones who are going to middle school and high school. So that's an experience in and of itself, I'm sure. So Cynthia says, yeah, they were pre-quarantine ready. And I remember when you were talking about that, it was so, when you think about it, guys, if someone told you in February, January, November, December, high focus to adapt, love that name, by the way. If someone had told you that we were going to be quarantined, that you wouldn't be able to go to restaurants, that you wouldn't be able to go to your gym or really do anything but go to the gas station and the grocery store, you would be like, yeah, right, okay. It kind of sounds like a zombie movie, but that's what happened. And now we are on our way, moving back into some stuff. But of course, as our public health expert said in the most recent Wisdom for Wellbeing show that we did, talked about still being vigilant as we're venturing out. But enough about that. Let's get ready to bring Cynthia in here. And I have some things that I want her to share, but I want you to be thinking about what are your questions about getting fit, about eating well as we age, and how to reprioritize those things. Hi, Cynthia.
Hey, Qing, can you hear me okay?
I can, and you look so beautiful.
I had to try to match your fly. You know, you
Oh, thank
you
you.
always look so gorgeous on these lives. I got to doll up a little bit for Qing.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yes.
How are you feeling, by the way? How are you doing today?
I am feeling amazing. I am
Okay.
actually just coming off my birthday weekend.
Oh, happy belated birthday.
Still riding it high.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm having a really good day today, too. Working Moms Coach is here. Thank you for being here tonight. We're talking with Cynthia Flowers. And Cynthia is going to be teaching, informing, inspiring us to reprioritize our health and fitness during this double pandemic. I've heard someone call it the pandemic revolution or something like that. So, yeah, you know what? And it looks like she's buffering or something like that. I'm not sure what that is. Cynthia, can you hear us okay? Okay, while we're getting that figured out, one of the things that I did that really helped. Uh-oh, she dropped off. Let me try that again. Okay, let's try that again. A friend of mine told me, hi, Alana, thank you for being here, that T-Mobile was having some issues.
Yes, that was my issue. You told me, you dialed me earlier. It was a T-Mobile issue.
I have T-Mobile as well. Anybody in here, you guys have T-Mobile? Have you had any issues today? I haven't been, another thing I have had to do to protect my mental health today, I have not checked into the news. But one of my friends told me that she read that T-Mobile had some serious issues. Have you guys had issues? So if something happens and we have to, check out and come back in, then that's what we do. Absolutely. But you can hear me okay, right?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me now?
I can.
I'm back with you.
It's all good. So, Cynthia, I would like to know, because when I see your posts and I hear from you, it just seems like you're just so on point all the time, like with your fitness and your nutrition. Have you always been like that?
That would be a no.
Oh.
That would be a no. I honestly, for me, it's really started late in life. In my 40s is when I got most passionate about wellness. And my journey really began then. I was a midlife mom, as I always describe myself, kids getting up in age, getting ready to go off to college. So I was kind of transitioning. And really right before my 50th birthday is when I got serious about my wellness. Yes.
Wait. Let me tell you something. Can you just show this woman some hearts?
Wow.
For that alone?
Yeah.
And you know why else I want us to show some hearts for this? Because there's so many myths that want you to believe that as you get older, it gets rough. This is what they do. This is what I hear. Well, you know, the older you get, the harder it is. You know what they say, the older you get, your metabolism slows down. Who are these they people? First of all, you heard her say before her 50th birthday is when she started.
Yeah. Yep.
And I was in my 40s. I was 41 when I started. So I'm with you. And you just celebrated a birthday too, so y'all can tell her birthday. Absolutely, Belle. There is hope. Do not believe those lies.
Right. Exactly.
Don't believe those lies. You start when, how did you say it? You said that's when I really got serious.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for over 30 years. I was a licensed practical nurse out of high school. And I subsequently earned my RN and my Bachelor's of Science degree in nursing. And so I've been on that sick care side for a really long time. So I've understood, you know, wellness from the perspective, but really, it really wasn't about wellness. It was treating disease, you know, managing disease processes. And it was when I was really approaching that, like I said, the 50th birthday, empty nesting, a lot was starting to shift for me. And I was introduced to the ID Life platform, which we'll talk about a little bit. But I didn't know, like many people, I just couldn't find a solution. I had been back and forth, up and down. You lose, you gain. I didn't have a system. And I did not know what I didn't know. And it was in 2016 when I was introduced to the ID Life platform, and I did my assessment and I found out what I needed. And that was a game changer. And it's been on ever since. It's been on ever since.
You know, that's really something, because I did a story post, and even though a lot of people saw it and, you know, I guess enjoyed it, I didn't get a lot of response to what I was asking. So I don't know if people realize that when I post stuff, I'm not posting to entertain. Like, I'm actually asking real questions, and I'm challenging your thinking, and I'm bringing you information that I also need. And what I had put out there was, what vitamins and supplements are you using? Because I'm out here trying to figure it out too. So could you guys type in the comments, what are you using? Because Cynthia just said she found out about a program and that helped her. But as we get older, y'all, there are certain things that our bodies need more of. So could you talk about what some of those are? You guys tell me what you're using, if anything. Because honestly, Cynthia, before this week, I wasn't taking any vitamins, not even a multivitamin. So what are y'all using? And Cynthia, what have you found that we need more of as we're aging in terms of our vitamins and supplement stuff?
So we all are unique, and each of us have unique individual needs. And that's what's so, really, that was the most eye-opening thing for me, because somebody could tell you what works for them, and they tried this and, you know, use that, and you got your hot flashes, get this, you know, all of these things that are happening on our journey. And then we're seeking solutions. But many of them are generally secondhand. Someone's telling you, you know, and that's how we do it as a community. You know, we'll share, if this is working for me, maybe it'll work for you. But when I was able to truly get the science and the information about what my body needed, I just went all in because, and I want to just give a disclaimer. I'm not trying to sell ID Life. I am a distributor, so I'll give full
You've
disclosure.
been saying what worked for you.
Yes, I'll give full disclosure on that. But what I will tell you and what I like to do as it relates to the wellness journey is be in community with people. And my handle is CMF Wellness. It's Advocate Wellness because that's what I like to do. It's just advocate, let you know, give you information, help a person along the journey and make informed decisions. So the ID Life platform gave me the chance to do an assessment. Quick, easy, free, no cost. And as a nurse, married to a doctor, I was blown away because it was documented. It was science-based. You know, it said, you know, as a woman of a particular age, over 40, I was my late 40s. I'm 49 at the moment, at that time, I think. And so it was telling me I needed the vitamin D. I needed the omega-3 fatty acids to manage obesity. I could put certain things in that assessment, things that I was plagued with, hot flashes at the time, my age, carrying the additional weight. I put all of those things in there. I fortunately didn't have some of the common things that we see in our community with the hypertension or diabetes, things of that nature. But if I were to put those things in that assessment, it was going to tell me what I needed for me. So, and again, not selling and plugging, but I'm going to show you. This stuff came in a pack. It had my name on it. It told me exactly what I needed for me. And that was the first time I was the most consistent with the vitamin regimen. And so understanding it's a combination of everything. It's our macronutrients, eating well. Nothing's going to substitute that. But the micronutrients that we get from nutritional supplements, vitamins, that closes a gap that I tell you, you have to be a scientist. You have to study compounding pharmaceuticals and nutraceuticals to understand exactly what you need. I didn't have the time to get that education. That assessment gave it to me in a matter of minutes. And I just followed that regimen. And it's honestly gave me my life back. I'll tell you, it's added some years to my life.
So one of our viewers, Dorita, mentioned that she takes a multivitamin. Working Moms Coach mentions that she takes celery juice. So my question is, like, let's say a person, they're jumping in, they haven't taken those things yet. They haven't taken an assessment or anything like that. What is something you would say that we could start doing in the morning? I could go to Walgreens or I can go to Target and I need to grab that thing. Is a multivitamin a good place to start? And if so, like, what are the main things that should be in there? Because when I hear multivitamin, I actually don't all the way know what that means. Yeah. And then also if you can mention again the assessment that you took, because Belle wants to know what that is.
Yeah. And I will tell you the reason why I never went to the Walgreens or the CVS is because, or the GNC. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't name drop. But you will get in there and it's rows and rows and rows
of
stuff.
Know.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I've been asking people to tell me, what do you take? Like, I feel like I just need somebody just to tell me, yes, what do I get? Like, I heard, I should be taking vitamin D. So then I go and I see like 3 different vitamin Ds. One says vitamin D, one says D3. I'm like, are these the same? Yeah. Like, how do you know what to get? And if I do get a multivitamin, like you mentioned here, Dorita, like, how do I know which one? Do I get the gummies? Do I get the gel capsule? Should I be taking liquids? Should I get the powder? Yeah. It's a lot.
Exactly.
So just tell me, what should we look for in a multivitamin?
So I love that question. That's the perfect question to ask. You want something, first of all, that's with a high absorbability rate. We want something that has few to no synthetics in it. See, that's the issue. Some of the stuff is poor quality, and I'm not going to bash any particular brand because I don't know to say, that brand is bad, but I will tell you there has been evidence. There was a Attorney General Sting and it was in New York years ago about store brand vitamins. So it could have been a store label vitamin, maybe Walmart or Target or whatever it is, their name, their label, and they did testing to see if they were efficacious, if they had what they said they had in them. And I'm going to share it with you because you mentioned one particular nutrient, St. John's wort. And that was a part of that sting in that investigation, that the contents had hardly any or no nutritional value from the St. John's wort nutrient. So that's interesting to me. That kind of speaks to the fact that vitamins and nutritional supplements are in a space where it's not regulated by the FDA. And that's a whole nother conversation about, trusting what the federal government has to say about what we eat and put in our bodies. But
anything.
Just the fact that there's a big, broad spectrum in the space. And with the company, and the reason why I always tell people I partnered with ID Life, I found a trusted source in ID Life. You can find that in another brand. Maybe there's, a really high quality, organic, naturally derived, no soy, no gluten, no garbage and fillers in these nutrients. And so that's why I trust this company, because they put the best before us. And then it's evidence-based. So when you do the assessment, it's going to tell you, based on this clinical study on humans, this was found to be valuable for this issue. So it's really provided a roadmap, and it took the guesswork out of it, because you can go in, these big stores and you got the teenager behind the counter telling you, I don't know, they get a lot of that. That one's popular, but you don't know if that's best for you.
Wow.
So
that is something good to be aware of. One of the viewers, Dorita, had also mentioned that some of those gummies have so much added sugar.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, if I get something, I want a gummy, because it just seems like it would be fun and tasty. But yeah, when I got the most recent things that I got, which were flaxseed oil, and I did get some St. John's wort, I went on to Amazon, looked at some of the most highest rated ones. Again, this is just doing this blindly, y'all, not knowing exactly what I need for my body yet. And I got the ones that seem to be the most potent based on the reviews and things like that. But thank you for sharing that resource with us, Belle. Let me know if you did catch that, since she did state that ID Life is a way that we could use. And at some point, if you could, well, I guess, guys, if you go to Cynthia's page, which is at CMF Wellness, you'll be able to click the link in her bio and be able to do that. And she said it's free.
Yep.
So, yes.
Everybody should do it today. Just get the information. That's all I would suggest.
Yeah, and it'll tell you through it. What I'm hearing you saying, it's almost like when we go get our cars taken in and they say, well, you need a new vent, you need this, and that.
Yep. And then you can pick and choose. You can say, you know what, my budget is only going to allow me to fix the muffler or the vent, and so we say, what is our priority, as it relates to that. So you can pick and choose the things that are important to you. I'll tell you, you kind of asked about what's good, like for women. ID Life, and this is a company that I trust. I've been affiliated with them now for 4.5 years. So I will highly recommend them. Putting my nursing background, my husband's using the product as a physician. We have, quite a few people who are even more knowledgeable than we were around nutrition facts, who trust this company as a resource. But the one thing that they've been made sure that they do is eliminate barriers to entry. Because everybody doesn't necessarily want the customized nutrition regimen, which, for me, this is my morning pack of nutrients. It's 3 little small packs. But
you take all of that in the morning?
I do, because again, I said I had a particular concern. I wanted to make sure my immune system was at tip-top shape during this season. There was no way I was going to compromise on immunity support. So I just wanted, of course, we're going to eat good. We're going to put good food in our bodies, but I wanted to cover all bases. So I have zinc, I have vitamin C, I have spirulina and chlorella in this in the morning. And then
I've never even heard of that, Cynthia.
So, but when you do your assessment, it's going to tell you what you need. It's going to tell you what you need. And you can say, you know what? Yeah, my body might want this right now. Again, it's for a time and a season. I do this seasonally. I update my assessment. When, the coronavirus came about, that was a definite reason for everyone in my family to update their assessment, making sure we cover our bases and just closing nutritional gaps. Because I really want to say this is a revolution for me. Wellness is a revolution.
Wow.
It is a revolution. It's a way to fight.
Wellness
it's
is a revolution.
And so that's why I go kind of hard with the nutrients, especially right now.
I tell you, Cynthia, you really are going hard. And, at first, and I don't know about you guys, but would you be honest with me? When she held up her vitamins and supplement and said that's what she takes in the morning, not the day, but that's her morning routine.
Right.
I thought, wow. I remember in college having to try to make myself remember to take a birth control pill. And you are taking all of that just for breakfast. That is a commitment. But then as soon as I thought that, I thought to myself, but this is your body. This is your one body. And if me prospering and being in health means that my body might require these vitamins, then that is what I should take. And I love what you said about wellness is a revolution. Now, you talked about certain vitamins as women age. And y'all, earlier, as we were preparing for this, I called her and we were just talking through some things. Carolyn says, Cynthia, stay on it. You hear me?
Yes.
So I was out in the sun. I was telling her about a TED Talk that I had been listening to. It was a very boring one, but I listened because I felt like I needed. And this researcher was talking about vitamin D from the sun, and about how for so long, generations past, were taught that you shouldn't spend as much time in the sun. It's going to be harmful for you and all that. And he was saying, we actually need more sun. And then Cynthia was telling me, now I didn't know about this. You guys give me some hearts if when I say this is news to you. She said, actually, melanated skin needs more vitamin D. Did you guys know that? Can you talk to us about that? And then we'll begin to transition into fitness. But I want to wrap this section up with talking about this whole idea that melanated skin, darker skin, requires certain other vitamins.
Cueing again, when I talk about wellness being a revolution, this has been very enlightening for me over these last 4.5 years on this journey. And one point of resource for information shared that as Black people, we originated very close to the equator. We were very close to, we were in the sun. We were right at the hottest part of the earth. As we started migrating and moving or being displaced further and further away from the sun and not getting that regular sun to stimulate the vitamin D production, because that's really what it does. Vitamin D is the sunshine vitamin. It has a direct correlation with being in the sun to synthesize it. But we're in the north. We have seasons. We are not out all the time. So we're not getting that opportunity to keep that vitamin D, to create that synthesis that needs to occur. So this is where supplementation comes in. This is why it's important for us to recognize that. And I can tell you, I bet you on this line right now, people know others, if not themselves, someone who has been diagnosed with a vitamin D deficiency. Very common in Black women and the Black race. Very common, particularly here where we are, in the Chicagoland area, places where we're not out in the sun all the time. If you're in Florida, it might not be as big of an issue. But if you live in Chicago where we do, you think about seasonal depression. You think about some things that are really related to vitamin D deficiencies. If you look it up, and I encourage everyone to look up vitamin D deficiency and some of the symptoms: fatigue, lack of energy. So much as someone raised their hand. Yes, we know people, our sisters. So this is where the revolution part comes in, girl. I'll be like, I'm ready to fight.
Girl, you giving me chills.
Go to the doctor. He gives you this prescription. He's going to give you a 7-day prescription, high dose vitamin D, 50,000 IUs. You take it for 7 days. But when you come off of that, you should still have some baseline support of the vitamin D, because when you look it up, ladies, you're going to find so many things related and correlated to vitamin D deficiency. So,
Wow.
you know, that to me, that's if you don't do anything else, as Black women, I really want to see us all assessing our vitamin D levels and, you know, eating well, but providing that nutritional supplementation to close that one gap. Because when you see all of the different disease processes that could be related to D deficiency, you'll be charged to get your vitamins and to be consistent with that, because it's part of our revolution.
I love this wellness as a revolution. I'm taking notes, y'all. Also, feel free to drop your questions in here. Belle said lack of it causes the winter blues. Someone else talked about vitamin D causing depression. I need to make a note, Cynthia, about how many milligrams of vitamin D. So like when we're there and we're seeing this vast array of vitamin D, even though the brands, you know, might not all be created equal, how many milligrams of vitamin D did you say we should be aiming for?
I didn't make a recommendation on the milligrams. I know when you are D deficient, the standard prescription is going to be 50,000 IUs for 7 days. But on a standard base, you might, and I want to say it might be 2,000 milligrams IUs on a daily basis. And I could even, let me look at mine and see if it's even telling me. But the reason that this is the key thing right here. You don't have to guess, sis. Take your assessment. Let the science behind that ID Life assessment give you an answer. You could choose to take that information and go buy all of those nutrients from Walmart, Walgreens, Amazon, if you choose to, or you can just click and order it to be delivered directly to your door from a high quality source that you can trust with your name on it. Money back guarantee, you know, so they stand behind it. But the assessment is free, which just blows my mind. You can get the information.
At least you'll know what you're working with.
Yes.
So I'm definitely going to do that, and we'll post the link again before you go, because I take assessments for other stuff. Like I recently took my Enneagram. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Have you taken that one? I love personality tests. I'm an INFP.
Wow.
And I'm a 5 on the Enneagram. You know, I see some heart, so people do that. So why would I then not take it to see what my body needs?
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. You got me hype over here about wellness as a revolution, girl. I'm trying to keep myself together. Because it just makes me think it's connected to so many things. Because when you think about the things, ladies, that we've been called to do, the areas where we have been called to lead, whether that is in family or in the boardroom or in the Zoom room, whatever the case may be, we've got to be in health. That takes energy, that takes stamina, that takes clarity of thought. And so that right there.
And that's the perfect segue. Like that's the perfect segue for what we were talking about today. You know, just making it a priority. You know, because even where we are right now in this time and space, I mean, honestly, I relate my wellness right back to social injustices. It all goes all the way back to for me. And then when we talk about, you know, the call for defunding the police or putting funds somewhere else, wellness is a space for those additional funds. Can you imagine? I didn't get a lot of the information I have. Like I told you, I got really serious in my late 40s. You know, and that kind of upset me because I'm a mom. I mean, I have, you know, 20, 22, 24, and 26-year-old. So I could have been giving them better information had I had it earlier. So just imagine, I felt like I'm fairly educated. I'm a nurse, doctor, all that. But nutrition is not something that's commonly taught. And we have to learn it. We have to be resourceful. We have to do research. We have to talk to a friend and see what worked for them. But this, you know, as we're on this journey, we pick up a little bit more and we find a trusted source or a resource, and, you know, we can share that with people. But it all gets back to wellness somehow. Yeah.
Wow. So, Cynthia, now let's talk about the fitness part. Okay, so Who amongst us, and thank you guys for being here. Those of you who just came a little bit later, this is Cynthia Flowers of CMF Wellness. And she's talking about prioritizing your health and your fitness during this double pandemic, right? Especially for us women of a certain age.
Yes.
And so I know that for me, the gym was a big part of my life. Me leaving work and then going to the gym, because I was an evening person, part of the PM crew.
Yeah.
That's what I did. So I'm leaving work. I go by the gym. I work out. I don't have to think about it. They got it all mapped out. So then I do that, and then I come home.
Yeah.
But then now all of a sudden, the gym is closed. Now, some of you, you've been working out at home. You've already had your routine. You go for a run, you're doing stretching and yoga and whatever it is that you do at home. For me, I actually don't enjoy home workouts. I'll do an online workout, but I don't like it. So I didn't realize how dependent I was on other people, because group fitness was like my entry into like fitness.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how dependent I was on that. And so then when that was removed, that structure was taken away. Now it's on me to do it all myself. Yeah, Belle says me either. Carolyn says same here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, now what I do, I said to someone the other day, I don't even know if what I'm doing would be called a workout to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm riding my bike, but I love riding my bike. I'll do that anyway. So I'm getting in fitness, but I'm not doing high intensity interval training like I used to. I'm not doing boot camps and all this kind of stuff. I'm not going hard. And sometimes I end up just watching the people on the videos do the workouts.
Truth moment.
So how so it is what it is, okay?
Yeah.
So what do you have to say to me, Belle and Carolyn and people like that who we're looking back, it's June, and we're like looking at March, April, and May, like,
Yeah.
what was we doing?
Absolutely.
And what should we be doing now?
Yeah. I'm going to say this first. I'm going to say we got to give ourselves some grace. We're going to give ourselves some grace in this whole process, because we were dealing with, a lot of uncertainties, a worldwide pandemic. And I've had those same emotions. Like, I thought maybe I could be doing more, or I was going to join a challenge, which I did. And then I said I didn't want to be challenged to do anything right now. I had no idea, and all of us, I said, this was like a grieving process. We didn't know what emotions were going to come up. We know we needed to be comforted, hugged, and held. We dealt with some Netflixing and, watched some movies perhaps, or maybe we got into writing our feelings out and journaling a little bit more. Maybe, we decided to go ahead and ride the bike at least. To me, I felt like there's seasons with it all. Personally, I was still able to stay engaged with the online workouts that were live. If it was recorded and you're talking about watch it later and do it on my own, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. But the ones that were still offered online for me was enough to keep me steady. So I was able to still get some workouts in. But when I thought about trying to do a challenge or coming out of the quarantine with, my website blown up and my new business venture all mapped out and my new course and class and my fitness, lose 10 pounds. That was a bit much. So I just told myself, and there's been times in this wellness journey where I would have to deplug. I'm like you. We've gone to the same boutique gym here in Chicago. We go hard in that gym. There's a lot of high intensity boot camp style classes. But there's been seasons where I didn't even want any of that. And I would, kind of have to process and give myself that grace to say, right now in this season, it's okay if I just want to walk. It's okay. I don't have to run. I don't have to sign up.
I think we have to give ourselves that permission too.
Yeah.
So, and I'm speaking to myself, as I also encourage Belle and Carolyn, who just flat out said same.
Yeah.
Because this is a time where you cannot compare where you are. I remember midway through this thing, one of my friends said to me, you know, it'll never be like it was. We will never be back to where we were. And you shouldn't want to be who you were either.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what you're saying about just let it be okay. You know, and another thing I've been saying, Cynthia, is I feel like if you can get to the end of the week and have peace of mind, if you can sleep well,
Yeah.
uninterrupted sleep, and you at least feel like that's going okay,
Mm-hmm.
if you can get some moments of joy throughout your day,
Yeah.
those are wins too. But sometimes you may have to will yourself to at least go outside though.
Well, I'll say community helps with that. You know, being in
Okay.
community, and we're not, you know, not being this. The pandemic has made a lot of us being kind of isolated and in silos. So we do have to seek out, you know, some sort of support, a community, perhaps of people who are looking to do some of the same things. And that's really what you do on this platform. This is part of my community. You know, I know that I can look here, I can get some information, I can get some resources, I can be inspired by somebody else's story. That's valuable. And that's part of my wellness journey. You know, that mind piece is huge. You know, so being, you know, spoken to, being fed spiritually is valuable. That to me is a crucial part of our wellness journey, ladies. So the spiritual component and what we get here, Wisdom for Well-Beings, and so many great resources that you shared. Particularly, I told you I was so impressed with all of the Black therapy resources. That was a huge part for me during the pandemic. A lot of things came up. Family dynamics, my own personal issues, or, you know, personal concerns. And then over the course of this whole wellness journey, having confidence in who you are, you know, being okay with yourself. Because sometimes weight, you've said it here, and many of your guests have talked about, you know, we're putting on weight from different emotions. We're carrying baggage from so many different reasons that maybe it's okay to take some time for that mental healing. And pandemic has really, you know, allowed a lot of us to do some self introspection and some of that personal work. But certainly, you know, having a community, being a part of that. We're doing like a 30-day, I would say a challenge, but it's a 30-day reset, a 30-day opportunity to just reset it. It's not necessarily about weight loss, but it's providing a community for people to be encouraged to, you know, and our Healthy, Wealthy, Wise movement, we have people who do their ID life assessment, who see what might be recommended for them. Maybe they're using a product just to help with sugar cravings, you know, so that we're not just constantly looking for comfort food. So, you know, that process, but documenting your hydration, you know, documenting how you're feeling, what your mood is in a particular day, just checking in with yourself is really important. And then we restart every day. That's what I tell myself. I can restart every day. You know, today was not a good day. Tomorrow can be better. I can hit my hydration goal. You know, I can move a little bit, you know, do something. I can eat, make good choices on my food. And those are wins that accumulate by the end of the week. So, yeah, absolutely.
And you talked about the spiritual component, and then you just made that statement. It made me think about, you know, y'all, the word says, and you know, we're believers up in here, so you gonna get this gospel.
Yes.
And you know, the word talks about how the Lord makes his mercies new every morning. And it just makes me think about, if God is so merciful towards us, we have to be willing to extend mercy to ourselves, because we do it so easily towards other people.
Right.
There are people, you know, side note, in our lives that we probably should have cut off a long time ago, or don't need to be dealing with and toiling with to the degree that we do.
Yeah.
But we give them other chances. We make excuses for them. We continue on that, you know, but we need to be more merciful towards ourselves. Is there, you know, speaking of like faith and fitness, is there a particular scripture or word or affirmation that you use like on a daily basis? And how important do you think that is to have something like that?
Wow. Well, I think it's extremely important. And I'm a fairly positive, just a positive energy person. I'm always the glass half full, and always finding a solution to keep pushing forward. But I will tell you, through the pandemic, it was the first time that I truly saw my faith challenged, and it scared me. I was like, I know I am not punking out like I felt like I was punking out. And I, during this time, went to scripture, and I just found, and it was in Hebrews. And honestly, I'm not one to quote and tell you exactly where. I want to say it was maybe Hebrews 10. In that space, it talked about unwavering faith, and it gave me, it really just spoke to the fact that, and this is me personally, I felt like I would be disappointing our Father if I did not have unwavering faith, if I did not believe and show up and recognize that He is in control of it all, each and every day. But just because it was during this time, it just made me to be more present and truly wanting to be a warrior, truly wanting to stand up and stand strong on faith during this time that had us so scared, so uncertain, so, I don't know, just out of sorts. And that really made me, start seeking to have a better faith life. I actually joined an accountability group that was focused. It was called Anchored, with one of my previous coaches here. And in Anchored, we were doing just having daily scripture and using the Bible app. So, so this is for me, walking and growing and learning and empowering myself more from word and scripture that's written. It's already there. I don't have to figure this thing out if I go to the true source. So that was giving me comfort, and so that's really where I am as it relates to that. Just really seeking to be in alignment and to do work every day that's pleasing to God. To make my life's legacy something that's adding value to this world and the time and the space in which we're living in. So I'd say before this call, I just prayed that, I say something that would be beneficial to someone else, that my platform and my passion about what I'm sharing resonate with others. And that's all I've asked. I've asked God to lead me in that way, to use this.
And you are definitely doing that.
Thank you.
I have been blessed to hear from you and learn from you. I see hearts going up. They agree as well. Yeah. Every time I post something, every time I bring somebody on, I always pray too for the women who are going to come, because we don't know who's going to show up and we don't know who's going to watch us on the replay. Yeah. But someone the other day they were feeling a little anxiety before they came on the show. And this is what I told them, because it's what I do. I said, I want you to imagine that one woman who has been praying, who has felt like giving up, who has wondered if it even matters anymore for her, to keep pushing, to keep going on her journey. Imagine her, because that's who I'm talking to, because I was her. Yeah. And there are times where I am her. Wow. So I just am so grateful to those of you who are here, because it just shows us and reminds me and Cynthia that this does matter. And speaking of which, as we begin to close, and you guys feel free to drop questions in there. Dorita says that while she's watching right now, she's taking the assessment. So you guys can be doing that. Yep. You can ask any question you may have for Cynthia. But Cynthia, I want to go to that woman who does feel like giving up, because there are times in this journey towards wellness, whether it is around weight loss or being told that there's something that you just have to live with, Right. We're also talking about things like high blood pressure, diabetes, all this kind of stuff. Yep. Like sometimes people might feel like, or situational depression that people might be going through. So sometimes folks can just feel like, I don't know if it even matters. Wow. Yeah. What do you say to that woman who might possibly be watching right now? Because you never know what people are dealing with.
Yeah. And that's the woman I want to speak to. Because as you said, that was you at one point. That was me. That was me. I really, honestly, and I thought about this as we were preparing to come on. What would I say? How would I relate my story to, you know, what we're sharing? And essentially, I was, you know, maybe 48 when I was introduced to an ID Life platform. And at 40, in January of 2016, I started on my wellness journey because I told myself I was tired of patty cake in the fat. I said, I'm tired of this patty cake game I was playing. So I said, I'm going to get serious. I'm going to use these products and see if they would help me to have this transformation. So January 2016, I started on this journey, and it was because I saw someone else as an example. I saw another sister who was in her late 40s, who had, you know, young teenage kids migrating off to college. She was me. So we say, sis, I see you. Sis, you know, we're an example for somebody. You know, so at that stage in life, there's a lot going on. You know, there's clarity issues. There's identity issues. Who are you outside of being a mom? Who are you outside of being a wife? You know, who am I? So that was part of why I just said, you know what? And you talked about showing up and being mindless in the gym. I told myself, I didn't want to figure it out. I didn't want to solve a problem for anybody. I just wanted to show up and do what they asked me to do. And miraculously, I got results. I said, Lord, what? You mean to tell me all I had to do was give me some time? All I had to do was not skip breakfast and rush around the house, start my day with a high quality protein shake, you know, because I was skipping that meal. Didn't know the benefit, but a healthy solution, a simplified regimen allowed me to get on track. So for 6 months, I was doing that. I would integrate the protein shakes, have that for breakfast, or have egg whites, or a healthy protein-based solution, a protein, a fat, and a carb. You know, eating better, small portions, consistency, hydrating, sleeping, doing these things that we really owe ourselves. You know, there's nothing more important than, you know, giving ourselves that time. So I just want to say that, you know, if you're frustrated, you've been looking for solutions, there are solutions out there, and you really want to find something that's evidence-based. You want to find something that's, you know, there's science behind it, because we don't have to figure this out, and we don't have to suffer in a silo. We don't have to feel like we're the only ones that don't have clarity or don't know how to make it happen, or what's wrong with me. What's wrong with you is that we've been victims of some systemic things, you know, poor food quality, you know, synthetic stuff, toxins in our environment, you know, all of these
and
things.
Buying what you could afford. Like sometimes when I look back now as an adult, I can say my mom as a single woman, you know, divorced, you know, dealing with her own PTSD as a result of such severe abuse. You know what I mean? Like the things that our parents, you may have not come from that, you know what I mean? But I'm saying, like, our moms and our dads, they had their life teaching them stuff, and then knowingly or unknowingly, they taught us these things. So then you got, like, again, my mom is a single mom doing the best she can, coming home tired. Well, what's going to be easy? To stop by McDonald's on the way.
Right.
Or to, you know what I mean, just you're eating a bunch of like carby stuff. And I'm from the South as well, so everything is fried and full of butter and sugar, all the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we were shaped by that. And then even people who do live in the city folks, you've got places where there's not even grocery stores, you know, and then people so it's just a whole, you take all that stuff together, and now we as adults, as grown-ups, have to like break out of some of that.
We have to reparent ourselves.
Yes, I'm so happy that you mentioned that term, reparent ourselves, because they really did the best. Now, there were some people who, your mom, you know, you grew up eating, just eating well. I have a friend who they thought raisins were candy. Like they ate so clean growing up that they were convinced that raisins were candy. Wow. That was not my experience.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. But, you know, whatever our experiences are, there's definitely a process that we kind of go through when we evolve, when we grow up, when we recognize that there's, you know, there's something we can do better. My children will hopefully do better than I did. You know, getting this information early on, you know, maybe it'll allow them to make some different choices, and then to, you know, start that next generation in a better circumstance, so more informed, better, more optimal health. But I, you know, just to say, I want to just encourage anyone who's looking, if they're looking for solutions, honestly, it starts with nutrition, and whether it's your macronutrients, you know, the foods that you're eating, you know, getting good proteins, fats, and carbs, a balanced diet. And that's in any eating style, from vegan, you know, vegetarian or whatever. We all need that balance of meals, of balance of macronutrients in our nutritional choices. And then we also need to just make sure that we create a system, you know, something we can be consistent with, whatever that is. You know, just every day, these are the things, these are going to be my little habits, and so that it becomes second nature. And honestly, looking up now, I'm thankful for the simple solutions that I found, you know, by finding a program that was educating me. And now I can veer off from that. I have things on hand, but I can make better and different choices. I'm learning even more through my fitness community. We're reading books and different, you know, different things about eating styles, and learning different techniques, because it's almost like anything, I guess, with parenting. They don't tell you everything up front. You start learning about fasting or juicing or, you know, all these different things that you can integrate into your wellness journey. Once you start, just start and start today. You know, just each day there's an opportunity, whether it's, you know, those last 10 pounds or that first pound off of 100. You got to start.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, I saw this guy, and I know we got to get ready to go. Thank you guys again for being here. And I saw this guy's testimony. I call them testimonies, success stories. And he talked about, people look at me and they say, wow, you lost 100 pounds. And he says that I don't look at it that way. He said, I look at it as there were 100 times when I focused on 1 pound.
Nice.
And I thought, wow, that is awesome.
That's
and
liberating.
I love what you said. Just start. And that point about wellness as a revolution, like, you can expand on that and take that, so that, like, that is a part of your new thing. Yeah. For those of you who are just coming, we're actually getting ready to go, but I will have this on IGTV, like, right after this, and you can watch it from the top. Okay. I'm telling you, this is one of those things that is so just chocked full of information, inspiration. We got the hearts going up here. You just really taught us so well and inspired us. Go to cmfwellness.com to take that assessment. One of you have already said that you were taking it. Dorita, was it pretty fast, quick and easy? I hope so, because I'm going to be doing it.
Yes.
And yeah, it's like a diagnostic to ask you some questions. You can figure out what vitamins, supplements, what nutrition should you be doing. That way we're not just standing, you know, along that wall looking at everything like, maybe this, maybe that. Yeah. Like, what if you knew what you should be doing right now for your particular nutrition? So go to cmfwellness.com to check that out. Tomorrow night, we are going to be talking about, remember, did you hear what Cynthia said about I tried different eating strategies? So tomorrow night, we're going to be talking about some eating strategies. We're going to continue in this vein of nutrition because it's huge. Yeah. So Better Fasting is here, and she leads a group to practice intermittent fasting. That's an eating strategy. That's not a quick fit diet. That, you know, so we'll be talking about IF. We'll be talking about paleo and vegan and pescatarianism and all this different kinds of stuff. So and keto. So if you're interested in learning about different eating strategies and which ones might work well for you, if you're someone who might want to try different routes like Cynthia does, then be on tomorrow night with Keola Rains.
Yes. Queuing. You asked about a product offer. I just wanted to tell you, on my website, I did post 411 on vitamins for women over 40. And on that blog post, at the end of that, there is a coupon code if anyone wants to try their ID Life vitamins or any product on the page that they feel would be beneficial to them. So
thank you